Hey, what's going on, guys? It is FiyasbroGaming here, and today I'm bringing you my second tutorial, which is going to be on OBS, otherwise known as Open Broadcaster Software. Quick note before we start, I'm recording with Camtasia, so I'm going to be checking this every so often, this little box down here, if it records it, which I think it does, just to make sure it's still recording my audio, because I've been having a little bit of trouble with Camtasia lately. It's been acting up. I've had to do a couple fixes, but hopefully this will work okay. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the tutorial. In case you don't know, Open Broadcaster Software is a free piece of software, as it says in the title, that you can use to live stream and, most importantly, record your gameplay, your desktop, your capture card for consoles, basically anything. So I'm making a tutorial on this basically because lots of people struggle with it, and yeah, somebody said that they would watch it if I did a tutorial, and I was like, yeah, cool. So I just thought I'd do it, just for the hell of it. So anyway, once you start OBS for the first time, you'll basically just get preview stream, and it'll be a black screen. And basically, you'll just have nothing. Well, the way to fix that is to go to your scenes, and you won't have anything here. In fact, I'm just going to quickly delete this, remove. You guys won't have anything here if you're just starting out, but you're going to right-click here. Go add scene. You can name it whatever you want, and then still it'll be a black screen when you go preview stream. But if you go to sources, which is the box directly to the right, and go add, you can add lots of different things. So say you were recording gameplay, which is what a lot of people use OBS for. You're going to want to go to game capture, name it what you want again, and make sure your game is open, and then under application you choose whatever game it is. So say we're playing Minecraft. You would select Minecraft from this list, press OK, start recording, go back into Minecraft, and it would record it as usual. And that's basically it for game capture. And then if you want to record your desktop, you're just going to want to do monitor capture. Again, name it what you want. Choose your monitor. If you have 3 monitors, obviously you're going to have 3 options here. If you have 2, you're going to have 2, etc, etc. You can choose whether to capture your mouse cursor or not, and everything else is basically just different settings. You don't really need to get into this until you get a little bit more advanced with OBS. And sorry if I sound a little bit sick, it's because I've come down with like a cold, so yeah, that's what's up with my voice. But anyway, for this example, I'm going to use a monitor capture, so I'm going to add this, press OK, and now you have my monitor, except this is, I believe, my right monitor, yeah. So I'm going to want to go to properties and change it to monitor 2, I believe. And there we go, that's my middle monitor, and as you can see, since OBS is open, it's going to do this weird sort of parallax type thing. It's kind of cool. So that's the basics, but once you record it, your quality might not be as good as you want. And for that, you're going to want to go up here to settings, and you can name your profile whatever you want under general. I just have mine set to recording profile. Then you're going to want to go down here to encoding, and just copy my settings here. So basically for encoder, I use X264. X264 is what I use for the encoder. I tried using NVIDIA NVENC, which basically offloads some of the work to your graphics card instead of just the CPU. However, it just screwed up OBS for me, so I prefer not to use it. CBR, I would keep that unchecked. Quality balance, I have that on 10. Use custom buffer size, just put the buffer size in kilobits the same as your max bitrate, which for me is 12,000. I think that's good. If you want, you can change this to like 15,000 for better quality recordings basically, but it all depends on how much space you have and how powerful your computer is, so yeah. And under audio encoding, you're going to want to make the codec AAC. Don't bother using MP3, it's just, the quality is just, it's not worth it. Bitrate, you can go all the way up to 320. However, I kind of feel like that's not necessary for most people. So I would just put mine at 192, and that sounds pretty much fine. Channel, stereo, format, 48 kilohertz is fine. 44.1 sounds alright, but I would just have it at 48. Now down to broadcast settings. This is where you can choose whether you want to live stream or do just a file output, which is a straight up recording. So live stream, you're going to want to put in all this stuff. I might make a tutorial on this later, but for now we're just going to do file output. Under file path, you're going to want to click browse and choose where you want to save it. If you have maybe like a second hard drive, you could put it there. And like file name, I'd just put mine like recording. Well, actually I use OBS recording. Oh, I cannot type today. And that's basically what I do. So every time it records something, it calls it OBS recording, and I just go in and change the file name later. Or you can just record it to something like your desktop, documents, videos, whatever. So that's basically user preference. Then down to video, you're going to choose your video adapter, which is basically just your graphics card. So as you can see, my GTX 760 is there. Then for your base resolution, you're going to want to go either custom or monitor. It doesn't really matter. I do custom because that's the resolution of all three of my monitors, 1920 by 1080. So that is 1080p. Resolution downscale, if say you have a 1080p monitor but you want to record in 720, this is where you'll change that. So you might change it to 1.50, which is 1280 by 720, which will downscale the resolution of the recording to 720p. Filter, I just leave it on bilinear, fastest. I don't really know much about this. I think it's the quality of which it's downscaled, so yeah, but don't quote me on that. FPS, I would leave it 30. However, if you can handle it, record at 60, because as you probably know, YouTube uploads at 60 FPS now, so you can record at 30 or 60, whichever works for you. Down to audio, your desktop audio device is going to be your speakers or your headphones, whichever you use to hear your computer audio. So say I change something in Windows and it makes a sound, this is what's going to be recording that. So like if you're playing a game, to hear the gameplay audio, you're going to want to change this to your headphones or your speakers. For mine, it's just speakers to high definition audio device, which is my headset. And for microphone, you're going to want to change that to whatever microphone you use. As you can see, I'm using my Audio Technica microphone. And microphone 2, high definition audio device, is the mic on my headset, which I do not use. Everything else here is pretty much fine. I wouldn't really bother with any of this. It's more, a lot of it's just stuff for streaming and whatnot. And yeah, so basically just leave the rest of this and you should be fine. Down to hotkeys is just, well, they are what it's called, hotkeys. It's basically just things you can use to quickly start a stream, stop a stream, start recording, stop recordings, etc., etc. Mute and unmute your mic. Basically just that. Now, advanced is where things get a little bit more complicated. I would highly recommend you just copy my settings here instead of like doing anything else. I mean, you can try other things and see what works for you. That I actually recommend doing as well. But if you want to be, you know, on the safe side, just copy these. So I would say use multi-threaded optimizations. Process priority class, I would put that at normal. That's basically how much system resources you dedicate to OBS. So you could choose to dedicate a lot or like none or whatever. Not none, but not as much. And but take note, if you're doing something like recording gameplay, this will probably make the game run worse, like the higher process priority you put OBS, so just be aware of that. Scene buffering time, I don't really know what that is, but I just keep it at 700. Disable encoding while previewing, uncheck that, and check allow other modifiers on hotkeys. That's kind of user preference, but I just have it ticked. Under video, X264 CPU preset. Honestly, I would just leave that at very fast. Personally, anything like down to slow or slower kind of bogs your computer up a bit. So I don't really know what your computer specs are. I don't know what you can and can't handle. So I'll just leave it at very fast. If you have to, put it at ultra fast, but I would just leave it at very fast. Encoding profile, just leave that at high. There's really no major reason to change it to main. Keyframe interval, just make that 0. Uncheck use CFR and uncheck custom X264 encoder settings, which are just basically advanced things to really finalize the sort of recording quality you want and extra things like that. Encoding full range, I honestly don't know what that means, so just leave it unchecked. Allow 61 to 120 FPS entry in video settings, which basically allows you to record up to 120 frames per second. So you can do that if you want. I don't need that, so I just leave it unchecked. Audio, just leave force desktop audio to use video timestamps as base for audio time. Just leave that checked. Use mic for QPC timestamps. I don't know what that means either, so just leave it unchecked, I would say. And network, just basically leave this all the same. So unchecked, bind to interface, default, latency tuning factor, 20, and disable TCP send window optimization, uncheck that. Quick sync encoder, don't really need to worry about that, and everything else should be fine. So that's basically how you set up OBS, guys. Thank you for watching this tutorial. If you want some more information on OBS, like for instance how to actually stream with it, or some more in-depth sort of looks at the advanced settings, just let me know, leave a comment, anything really, tweet me, use Instagram, whatever. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this tutorial and have a nice day.